3 shots per par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shoot 'em, McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high. And
Back to another episode of On the Screws podcast. We're just going to chat about the hottest topic in golf. We have to. And then we'll be into a really cool chat with Joe from Uncommon Golf. Bryce, how are you doing?
Good. Best time of year in my opinion. Christmas and New Year's. Fun time coming up here. So excited for that and excited to talk about the big cat back in action. So
I know it's kind of a gift to all of us, right? So going to try and get into it here. Post up these episodes if you're listening to this. Hopefully it's on Wednesday and you're not skipping out on Christmas dinner to listen to us. But if you are, we've received a lot of good feedback lately. Thank you to everybody who's kind of checked out the pod this year and made it really cool. It's a little over a year now, as we mentioned. So, but let's talk about it, man. Charlie Woods or the big cat, little cat, medium cat? Like,
I still think he's a little cat.
Yeah.
I don't think he's medium cat yet. He's still on the forward tees, but wow.
Yeah.
Kids
hitting like 240, 250 yard drives. So one thing I will mention is I did pick the dailies to win, and JD2 does not want to be called Little John anymore. So in reference to Tiger Woods being Little Cat, we're not calling JD. He's hitting 290 yard carries and stuff like that. He does not want to be called Little John anymore. But yeah, man, they played awesome. They played absolutely unreal. I kind of expected them to go low, the Thomases, like you said, the Sinks, and obviously the Woods. Charlie kind of stole the show, though, man. What'd you think? Did you get to watch a lot of it?
I watched pretty much all of Saturday. Sunday I kind of got a couple glimpses of it, but
yeah,
a lot of like replays and highlights on Instagram and stuff. And the kid's gonna be good. I don't care what anyone says. He's gonna be good.
Yeah, I was listening to the foreplay guys. They were talking about how, like, I guess somebody's put a ranking out of the top 100 like 12-year-olds or whatever in the world or in the States or North America, whatever it may be. And I guess he didn't get like too much love. And like one of the past guests here, Carlos, kind of posted about like a guy from this area, a young player in this area. I can't remember his name, but he plays pretty well too. But I was thinking about like in all the Gemini Man comments, I was explaining that to you, Bryce. It's like a movie where like Will Smith was a soldier. He was like recreated as like a super soldier or whatever. And the comments of like Tiger Woods and Charlie Woods, like Tiger essentially recreating him. I think, there's endless, I don't want to say endless ability, but endless resources to Charlie Woods. And I think that is going to be something that will kind of see him separate himself from the other young players in the game if he wants it to, right?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, that's a big thing. If he wants to, which, I mean, we've seen it. It looks like he does. He looks all into it. I mean, he's got all the mannerisms of his dad and kind of the same features and almost the exact same swing as well. So, I mean, you can tell he's been working on his game because you don't just get that good being that young without practicing. So
like more this year too, right? Like he missed a couple short putts, like a couple like 3-4 footers, and like he was pissed, man. Like he seemed like he was out there to win and compete, and the dailies like absolutely stole the show. And like I shouldn't say stole the show, Charlie stole the show, but like they dominated, right? Like they didn't even kind of put the foot on the gas at the end. Like they had already kind of wrapped up the tournament. They knew it. But JD2, man, is a hell of a player. Like I'm looking forward to watching him because Tiger Woods would agree, because Tiger Woods has made the comment before that he believes John Daly is the most talented golfer of all time. And I think a lot of people say, like, what do you mean by that? Like, it's Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, stuff like that. But like the most like God-given talent, whatever you want to call it, without training, without trying, wearing shoes, a pair of jeans, and no shirt on the golf course, John Daly is out there like shooting low 60s and stuff. So drinking all night, going out, playing, rounds at the US Open, like beating Tiger Woods in some of these stories and stuff like that. I think like just the ability that he was given, and hopefully, like you can see, he's passed those genetics down to JD2, and like his game is wild. It's so good, and he's got a really, really good putting stroke too, which John Daly was always known for, and that was one of the most underrated things in his game. But having like a nice set of hands as well as hitting the ball, back in the day, 320, 330, which guys weren't doing, right? But yeah, we got a really cool chat with Uncommon Golf coming up, so I just want to kind of if you're tuning in to check that out, we'll only be a couple minutes here. We just had to talk about the PNC a little bit. It was kind of a gift to everybody, and might be a little bit late for you guys to get it by Christmas, but the holidays have come early this year, and Manscaped have the gift that keeps on trimming. They have not come early. They're in like 2 days if you're listening to this podcast. Santa's beard isn't so appealing when it's coming out of your trousers, and that's why Manscaped, the leaders in below the waist grooming, have you covered this holiday season. Now available in your country. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to keep their trees trimmed and ornaments polished. I am struggling through this one. Go to manscaped.com and use the code OTSGolf at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Happy holidays. Hopefully you guys are able to go check it out. Bryce and I got some of their products. They're really amazing. Thanks to everybody at Manscaped. Happy holidays. Check out the site. They've got some really cool stuff. But yeah, Bryce, any last thoughts on the PNC that you want to touch on?
Yeah, I want to touch on Carl Stenson.
Okay.
I won't go too deep into it, but he's the youngest player in the field. Youngest partner, I guess, in the field. But this kid was awesome. I mean, he was especially on the greens. I mean, he was draining putts out there from what I saw. And the kid, he said he plays with I don't know Ian Poulter's son's first name. But he says he gets out with him once in a while,
Yep.
and I heard he's pretty good too, Poulter's son. So
Yeah,
I mean, those two could you might have to keep your eye on them here.
they were there, right? And hey, Ian Poulter is known to be one of the best putters of all time, and Henrik Stenson is debatably the best iron player of all time. We were actually talking a little bit with Joe from Uncommon about Moe Norman and Ben Hogan, which are considered to be two of the best ball strikers of all time. So the difference between iron players and ball strikers isn't all that much, but like ball strikers of just the pure swing. So Moe Norman is a Canadian. Bryce, I'm not sure if you're very familiar with him. He's kind of an older guy. He's got like 55 course records or PGA Tour Canada wins, 33 PGA Tour Canada wins or course records, and he was kind of the first, like, Bryson has like the single swing plane almost, like, well, especially with his wedges and stuff, right? So he was like the first to bring it in, kind of like a Bryce has got the cat wandering in the camera here, but he was the first to use apparently one length irons. It was not really kind of completely confirmed, but just kind of like a unique guy and kind of uncommon, and that's how we'd gotten connected with Joe, and we're talking about their story and how they kind of gave like an ode to Moe Norman about the brand. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really good young talent, man, and I think we're going to see a lot. I don't know. It was fun to watch. I love watching the PNC. I remember last year, like, obviously everybody was glued to the TVs watching Charlie Woods. But yeah, we had Team Daly, Woods, Team Thomas, which I think, most people, if you're laying a buck down, it's probably on Team Thomas there. And I know his dad just didn't have it. He wasn't feeling well this year. So it was a little bit different for them. The Sinks, which you like too, Bryce, and I think everybody does. Stuart Sinks got a couple wins in the last calendar season or so. Team Lehman, Team Singh, Team Kutcher, Team O'Mara, Stensons, and Rich Beam and Team Beam was there, which was pretty cool. Gary Player.
I'm pretty sure Stuart Sink's kid's a stud.
Yeah, well, he's caddied for him a couple times too, right? They had 2 wins last year. They won the Heritage and they won something else, and he was on the bag.
He's actually his full-time caddy. I think he's like fully on the bag now with him.
I think he went back to school.
Did he? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think that had just that had kind of just came to an end recently, but it wasn't for like any reason really. But yeah, and then Team Corda's. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment, like seeing Nelly Corda. Like, okay, so Nelly Corda is the best female golfer in the world right now, and kind of being like starstruck by Tiger walking up and saying like, "Mr. Woods, can I get a photo with you?" That was pretty cool. And like Tiger was like, of course, and then had some really nice things to say about her, and her game is pretty damn good. Like they were 12th at -17, so they shot 63, 64, so that's a pretty good round. And then I really liked watching Bubba. That was a lot of fun. Like, I think it was just a really cool event, and looking forward to seeing each year kind of those young guys like the Poulters. Hopefully the Poulters hop in next year, and yeah, we get Woods out there, and it's pretty, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see how those guys grow up and how they play together, and the Stensons as well, Carl Stenson.
Well, I told Shay watching it because they have a timeshare down in Orlando, and it's like 15 minutes from Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, really?
It's there every year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been there. Well, the last, at least I think it's there every single year. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
I
been there at
told her.
least for the last couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, I told her I was like, I want to go down. She's like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm going. I'm
So
going.
I was actually looking something up. It just kind of popped in the Google chat when I was or into the Google like auto whatever it is, but they actually get paid. Like there's a payout for this, and
Yeah.
the dailies get 200K. Do you think that's going straight to JD2?
I mean, I don't know.
They
I
they
don't.
they split the days, right? Like JD2 dominated on Saturday. Like he played unreal, kind of kept him in it, and I think Charlie Woods is getting the 80K for second place. I think so.
I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. I think
No,
it's just
no. And
just that
so
80K is that yeah, here. What's it for though?
yeah, rounding out the top three was Justin and Mike Thomas at 53,000. So you know that JT is a really good guy. He's giving his dad that money, which is pretty awesome. So I think that's about it though for the PNC. Again, this will be our actually second last episode. We've got Spencer Dungy from the Athletic Therapy Lab coming on next week. I got to spend some time at Athletify with him in Newmarket, Ontario. Was really cool. So we'll be popping that one out. I'm thinking next Wednesday, just to kind of get away from our day on Friday there, because it's the holiday season. So, yeah, I just wanted to hop on here before we get Joe out. Wish everybody a happy holiday season. Stay safe. Play some golf if you can. Roll some putts in the basement, whatever it is. And if you haven't already, go over check out manscaped.com. Use OTS Golf at the shopping cart. Follow us on OTS Golf on Instagram and on the Screws Podcast over on YouTube. What about you, Bryce? Anything going on? Anything before we head out?
Oh, just happy holidays to everyone, and have good Christmases or whatever you celebrate. And yeah, it's the best time of year in my opinion. So have fun.
And thanks to everybody again for all the love lately that we've got. It's been really cool. We are a little bit backed up. We're booking into I think like March now. So really appreciate everybody being patient. Want to try and get as many people on the pod as we can. And of course, if you want to come on and chat some golf, shoot us a DM at OTS Golf on Instagram. We'll link up. We'll get you on the pod. Be a few minutes, but yeah, we're gonna pop out a couple special edition episodes here and there with some companies that we've been able to connect with, which has been pretty cool. So. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you. We'll see you again soon. And let's hear from Joe at Uncommon Golf. Let's hop into it. We are here with Joe from Uncommon. Another episode of On the Screws podcast. Joe, how are you doing? Thanks for hopping on, man.
I am good today. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Stoked about this.
Yeah, I first I found you guys a little while ago, but I recognized you from Patrick Hardy's page as well. So he had posted something a few months ago, I think it was, and you and I got talking. Said kind of let's get you on, and here we are. Finally, we got you on to talk about the brand a little bit. Always nice to kind of get golf brands on. Do whatever we can up here. Like we're in the Toronto area. You mentioned that you're kind of spread out all throughout the States, but if we can get a couple of years on the brand for you, that's the idea of the pod, right? So, if you don't mind, maybe you could just tell us a bit about yourself, a little bit about the brand, and we'll hop into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Joe Green. I live in Salt Lake City. We started Uncommon. We've been live now the brand went live about 6 or 7 months ago, but the brand really kind of kicked into gear in about 2 years now, I'd say. So about a year and a half-ish, kind of in the works. It was really interesting starting or trying to start a brand during a global pandemic and, learning about all of the shipping woes coming from overseas and tariffs and expenses going through the roof. And, the whole team of us really ate a big slice of humble pie learning, that we just couldn't have product in the States in a month, like everything else we'd kind of learned from our day jobs. Most of us on the Uncommon crew came from the action sports world, skiing, snowboarding, skate. And so, you'll see a lot of influence about, different board sports and things within our social media. And so that's kind of where the brand, the inception of it was kind of started from that. And obviously we've all played golf. I've been playing golf competitively for 10 to 12 years now, just on a total amateur level, state am qualifiers, that kind of thing. But that's kind of my background as far as that goes. But yeah, there's 7 of us across the board. We're literally spread out from Salt Lake City to Brooklyn to San Diego. down to Tucson. Our group is 7 deep, and it's kind of cool. We have a really eclectic, funny group of guys that adds flavor to the team here.
So that's it's pretty cool. I guess you guys must be pretty familiar with these Zoom calls and kind of connecting online
yes,
anyway, right? So
yes. Very.
now we had the team of there's Joe, yourself, Joe, Jonathan, Dan, Kyle, Nate. I missed a couple on there.
Yeah,
Um,
so there's Scott, who's our operations guy, and then I'm trying to think of who else you just didn't mention there. Was there Dave on there?
no Dave, no
No,
Dave.
Dave. Okay, so
All
he's
right.
he's in Tucson, and yeah, the brand would not survive without him. I can be totally honest with you. So I want to make sure he gets a direct call out. The guy is a wizard when it comes to getting product from overseas, and can talk about urethanes and plastics till we're blue in the face. So he's a great addition to the team. And like I said, it wouldn't survive without him. So yeah, we're a pretty deep crew.
Now, how did like you guys had mentioned, you mentioned how it's about a year and a half, 2 years, kind of since the inception of it. What was the
Uh-huh.
that moment where you guys said, okay, like we're gonna start it up. We want to call it Uncommon. I know you guys have a pretty unique approach to why you named it that, why you named the brand that. But can you speak to that
Yeah.
a little bit for us, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, I work for a very prominent eyewear apparel manufacturer in the world. In the world, I work for Oakley. It's my day job, and there's a couple of us who have worked for Oakley in the past, involved with different, like I said, action sports brands. And what we saw happening in the golf world kind of mimicked what was happening in the snowboard and the skate world like 10 years ago. Was there was a huge influx of all these really cool, unique, extremely creative brands, within the apparel, the equipment side of things, the lifestyle of the brand, whether it be a sticker or whatever it was. And we saw the same thing happening in golf. About 4 or 5 years ago, it really started to explode. And
Right.
we started taking the idea of maybe doing like some head covers. We talked about doing some apparel, and then it was like, well, how do we differentiate ourselves between everybody else in the golf world that is already doing that? I mean, there's so many brands, and I can name 10 of them right now that we love, support, back, buy ourselves. And we couldn't find a reason for us wanting to live in that space of apparel or accessories. And so it was kind of like, well, what is something that we all burn through every single round that can be purchased? And it kind of came down to the golf ball piece of equipment. I don't think that we had the legs to, or the know-how to really start with a club manufacturer. That was kind of toyed around as well. Like, do we do something else? And so the golf ball was kind of a natural fit for us because it hadn't really been done yet. There wasn't like a unique ball manufacturer out there. Yes, there are some small boutique brands that are doing it. And you kind of saw it with, a brand that does very brightly colored golf balls now. And Bubba was playing with another competitor of ours for a minute. But yeah, so the golf ball was kind of a natural fit for us. It hadn't been done in an expressional way yet. It had been done. And everybody, in the golf ball world was telling you how much better you're going to play and how much further you're going to hit it. And all of a sudden you're going to be able to win the Masters if you start playing their golf ball. And we just felt like that was just not, it's just not true. And we all know that. And so the golf ball was a pretty natural fit for us just because of the fact that it hadn't been done yet. It was unique. It was different. And we were able to kind of put our own expression, our own twist on something that everybody has to have right on the golf course, and usually burn through a lot of them when I play. So
You and me both. Now it is definitely a unique golf ball. Like it has the line
yeah,
that
thank you.
goes all the way around. It's got like your logo is so cool. Like I that's one of the first things you guys did a great job with it because that is one of the first things that kind of caught my mind or my eye.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And the Uncommon brand. We kind of talked about how there's a unique I guess story behind it, or kind of how you guys came up with the idea of just being uncommon, right? And there's a link to Moe
Yep.
Norman. So I mentioned that I'm up in the Toronto area here. Moe Norman is a prominent Canadian golfer. Like you said, 55 Canadian Tour wins, 33 course records, I believe. So that is kind of an ode to the ball. So can we talk about the story a little bit, and then we'll get into the kind of the construction and the makeup of the two balls?
Yeah, absolutely. So Uncommon was, our tagline within the brand is kind of play your way. And we thought about some things that we liked and what we didn't like about golf as a sport. And we noticed something that is happening in golf, and that is all inclusiveness, right? Like whether you're different genders or race or sexual preferences or whatever. There was kind of that, still there's a little bit of a veil in golf, who can and can't play, and obviously that derives from being at a nice country club, with some pretty strict rules on who can and can't play. And we were just trying to figure out a way to talk about that and kind of get it out in the open. And so, we're trying to kind of free up that world a little bit in golf of talking about, why can't I play with this person, or why can't they play with me, or why do I need to play with really good players, or why can't a bad player play with me? And so, my son plays with me a lot. He's 10. His friends come to play with me all the time. We spend a lot of time at the range. And so we really wanted Uncommon to be kind of come one, come all idea, and everybody's allowed to play and come see what this game is about, because it's a lot of fun. It's outside. You're not on your phone. And so we really wanted to kind of create this all-inclusive, come as you are, wear a t-shirt tucked in your shirt if you want, or pants if you want, dress up, dress down, whatever it is. And so that was kind of the story behind of, Uncommon was just like, let's step out and be a little bit irreverent about the sport. So
I love it. We've chatted with a couple of guys from the Goat Track Social Club. I'm not sure if you know those guys. So
great.
Garrett and those guys, we talked to them recently on the pod. But kind of going back to Moe Norman, we talked about how the game was a lot less inclusive during his time, right? So believed to be autistic, and a single plane swing, which we see with one of the best golfers in the world using that now. It's rumored that he played one length irons. I don't know if that was actually true or not, but it's rumored that he did. And Tiger Woods talks about. My friend Nick loves saying Tiger Woods talked about how Moe Norman has one of the best golf swings. Ever in the game, him and maybe Ben Hogan, right? So,
and the story, if you think about Moe Norman, I would have really liked, when we started the brand, we kind of did a deep dive on this guy, and, we read stories about him sleeping in his car the week after he won a big event and got handed a check for 5 figures or whatever it was back then.
Right.
And if you think about it, that would never happen now, ever. And his uniqueness would be highlighted. It would be talked about. It would be on the Golf Channel. It would be discussed amongst us, right? It would be kind of embraced by the golf world. And so, it's really interesting to see how how the sport is changing in that regard, and really opening its arms slowly to these kind of outliers. And we want to make sure that we're talking about that. Anytime we talk about Uncommon, because it's important to us. We're of the mindset, come one, come all, and let's just go play golf and have fun, and see what happens on the course. So
definitely see what happens on the course, because that is always that's always something to remember. We've had we've had some PGA Tour Canada like pros on that have actually won on tour. So some of the best players in Canada up here have popped on the pod. We've had a lot of new brands, big companies, small companies, whoever it is, new companies, doesn't really matter. Last week we had a young lady named Kylie. So she started up her journey and kind of put it up on Instagram, and now she's got, I think, 11,000 followers. She's become very good at golf, and we kind of got chatting with her about kind of sharing the game and getting younger girls interested in it. Our intro to the podcast is a golf rapper, Rory Blaklroy. Shout out to Rory. Like right away, he came on the pod, let us use his music for the intro. So that's kind of the idea, is to just include as many people as we can in the game. I golf with my wife and my sister the most, and they're both new to the game. I absolutely love it, kind of like you mentioned with your son. And it made me think, I went out with a good buddy of mine, Curtis, and his daughter, and she would love the Uncommon golf ball. So I might have to grab her a couple. I remember her dumping a couple in the lake and thinking like, okay, I got to fish through my bag or grab a couple from his bag of the ones, you know what I mean? So, but,
absolutely.
But yeah, so she would just love the colors, and I know it comes in like orange, purple, a couple other ones. So if we can get into you mentioned the ball construction a little bit. Can we talk about how that kind of came about really? You've got the Model 55, the Model 33, so an ode to Moe Norman again, like we mentioned, the 33 course records, and I think he's got, or it might have been backwards, but 55 PGA Tour Canada wins. So can we talk about the ball construction a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it. So we've got a 3 and a 4 piece ball. Obviously, the 4-piece is designed for kind of that higher to mid single digit handicap golfer.
Right.
Somebody that's looking for more of a performance aspect, a little bit higher spin, a little bit more distance off the tee. And then obviously the 3-piece is designed for somebody that's kind of the mid-teens, 15 to 20 handicap. I am not sitting here trying to tell you that Tiger Woods should be playing an uncommon golf ball, because we've kind of decided that, like I said in the beginning of this, that's if I hand you a golf magazine right now, or if I get on the Golf Channel right now, you and I would be inundated with ads about
Right.
how much better the golf ball or the driver or the wedge is going to make you at golf. And we all know that is, not a fact. Yes, it's an important part of, becoming better. And I think that we can all qualify and kind of narrow down a ball or a club that we like to play with. But, I don't think that you could hand 15-digit handicapper a ball and he would be a discerning enough player to say, man, this really made me a better player this round for X, Y, and Z purposes or reasons. So the 3 and the 4-piece ball, they definitely play much different. They perform extremely well. They are USGA and RNA conforming, and so the golf balls, we actually did quite a bit of testing and R&D on these golf balls to try and find something that we like to play. And then also we passed them down to a handful of different PGA teaching pros and golfers who are in their lower 0-digit handicaps, some of them even a plus. So the ball's been put through a pretty serious, rigorous testing process, and I'm extremely happy with how they play. They look awesome on the golf course. And you talked about that alignment aid. We call it the dead aim alignment. And if you watch, I was just watching this weekend, a lot of the pros are marking their balls with like a alignment aid on the golf ball. And obviously that helps them start at the putts in the correct area. And that was something that I had done for years. And I never understood why I couldn't find a golf ball that had that on there.
Yeah, me too.
I know that.
I can think of so many like pros getting to the first tee. Like you see DJ all the time, grabs his balls, marks it. Bryson, same thing, mark it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and a lot of the competing brands out there will do markings, or they'll put 3 lines on there or 2 lines on there. But for me personally, I just found out that just a thick black line on there was just the easiest way for me to putt better, because it helped me start the ball exactly where I want. And I found out too, I spent a lot of time on the greens with my son. Like I said, he's 10. He's competing and trying for different qualifiers. I'm really focused on his short game and his putting. And I can tell you that when you hit a slice or a draw with your putter, it's going to give you instant feedback with our balls if you hit a true putt, true north to south. So that was a little something that we learned along the way. I didn't realize that we were going to have that benefit on the ball. But like I said, the balls perform extremely well. I love how they look on the greens, and we're really proud of how they play. So.
Looks cool and performs well. I have not tried them yet, but I'm looking forward to it, because I think that I think they'll be pretty cool. And like I said, I do the same thing. I know a lot of golfers who first thing they grab a new ball, mark it. I've been able to caddy on the PGA Tour Canada a little bit. Same thing, mark it.
Cool.
So it's kind of a very regular thing that you see. I don't know. It seems like every second or third golfer is at least doing it, right? So the Model 33 is the 3-piece.
Correct.
Okay,
yep.
And then the Model
55 is a 4-piece.
Yep, okay, now, exactly. So. You guys, when I was kind of doing a little bit of research, checking out your page, looking through your website and whatnot, your Instagram page, which is really cool. So if anybody is looking to check out Uncommon Golf, scroll below. I'll put a link, and they can check out your Instagram handle down below, and your website as well. Now, I noticed that you guys posted the pricing very transparently. So is that that must have been something that the 7 of you agreed upon? I haven't seen anybody do that before, completely that transparent, down to like the freight, shipping, labor, everything. So what was the idea behind that, Joe?
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny where this kind of stemmed from was, there's a lot of memes and jokes about golf, like, oh, there's a par 3 over water or a long par 5, carry. I'm not going to play my Titleist. Or I'm not going to play my whatever ball. And, if I've never really understood that, because if you're trying to carry a long par 3, a long par 5, wouldn't you want the best performance out of your golf ball? I wouldn't want to play a range ball.
Exactly.
And, and there's, the idea of the pricing thing kind of came from, if you think about it, the average player, what loses somewhere, I don't know, roughly 3 to 5 golf balls around, somewhere in that, depending obviously their handicap, but I would say that's kind of a rough average of balls that then,
Okay.
balls are expensive when you get down to it. And that was something else that we were trying to just talk about that was different was nobody talks about the price of a golf ball.
Right.
It's just, let's walk into a pro shop and hope that I'm not getting completely hosed here because of the logo that's on the golf ball or because Tiger won with it or whatever the week before. So, we, like you said, we're very transparent. It's called the player pact on there about, what we pay for the golf ball and the shipping and the tariffs and the storage and everything on there. So again, just trying to be a little more transparent and all inclusive about what it really does cost to put, product on the shelves of a website, especially a golf website. I mean, the golf industry is notoriously low on margins. So a discount in the golf world, I'm sure you've seen at a golf shop, they'll have a driver for 20% off. And that's probably what the golf shop is making on it, to be honest with you. It's just a low margin equipment in general is just a very low margin item. So we just thought that was a better way to connect with our consumer and say, hey, you're not getting ripped off here. Here's what the balls cost us. And just being transparent and honest with our customers. So
I like that too, because we've had Joshua Haywood on the pod in the past. I talked to him. I talked to him pretty regularly. You guys did a.
By the way, their stuff is awesome.
I play all 4 wedges in my bag, 48,
Cool.
52, 56, 60 are from Joshua. So we've had him on the pod in the past. I need to get him back on because it's been a while. It's been pretty close to a year, I think. So you guys did a giveaway kind of to help launch the brand and whatnot with them. So that was another thing that kind of got me connected and onto you guys. And he does the same thing. He doesn't tell us exactly how much it costs to make the clubs, but selling a set of irons for $800 or $700 USD is a margin that a lot of people can get along with. And a few of my buddies that I play with regularly have gone and got. I'm a lefty, so he at the time they didn't have the like their signature irons in left hand, so. Or their I guess they're MBs, sorry. So their like their players irons were only in right hand. So a couple of my buddies though who are lower or higher handicaps went over and got them, which is really cool. So
yeah, I love what they're doing. My buddy John, who's involved with Uncommon, he has one of their driving irons, and the thing is hot. That thing flies. I love the way it looks on the ground. They make great stuff too. It's beautiful.
Yeah, their wedges, I love how simple they are. They're just very clean. It just has kind of his last name or whatever kind of etched in the back of it. I have the black like PVD finish. They're great, cool. great irons. So, now have you guys talked about, like, I know you got a couple other things: tees, towel, hat, water bottles, just some accessories and whatnot. Have you guys talked about adding anything else to the lineup, whether it be, just accessories or any other like golf items as well?
We have. It's a topic of conversation that the whole team is always throwing their 2 cents in. Again, like I said at the beginning, was we're really trying to make product that is special and that people can gravitate towards too. And you look at what Malvin is doing and Random Golf Club, and there's a lot of products out there that are truly uniquely special, especially in golf right now. It's really cool to see the influence of kind of that street skate board sport mentality. And so for us, it's just a matter of pulling the trigger and honestly spending the money and committing to that, and saying, yes, we are going to be in the apparel business, or we are going to be in the accessories business. But for the time being, we need to hone the knife of the Uncommon brand a little more before we dive into that. So yes, to answer your question, I think it will be in the near future. We just need to put our foot down and commit to something, because it's pretty wild what's going out there right now in the fulfillment world and getting products from overseas, and the timelines are really all up in the air right now, which obviously makes the margins up in the air. It's hard to commit to that right now. So I think it'll happen in the future, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So
yeah, a friend of ours down at Squares Golf, he was mentioning how they've got a shipment of shoes that are kind of stranded right now, and I feel bad for so many companies that are kind of going through that, because it's tough enough time as it is, right? Let alone not being able to get your product in and fulfill any orders and whatnot. But
well, you try and order anything right now, a car, a front door for your house. I mean, anything right now is just wild, and we're all nobody's safe from it, and including Uncommon.
Yeah, I got a new truck, and it's just kind of like just somewhere on its way, somewhere or being built again. Yeah, so it's I did order the Cybertruck. I saw
cool.
AJ from Cobra Golf posted how he had ordered it the other day, and I sent him a screenshot of mine from almost 2 years ago to the day that I placed the order, and he was just like, expletive. He was just like, oh damn, like am I gonna have to wait that long? So I said I hope not, but yeah, so another one coming in the meantime. But now I think maybe I never really thought about it, but I used to have a BMX background, and I've never talked about that on the pod. Gave that up when I was really young. My shins could definitely show that I have a BMX background. Wasn't
those pedals are no joke.
Oh no, I was not a very good skater. A bunch of my buddies obviously were. We'd go to the same spots and whatnot, but it is definitely cool, and it kind of reminds me of those days. So I like that throwback a little bit. The artist series. Before I have to let you go, Joe, I just wanted to talk about the artist series a little bit. I saw you guys posted on your website and a lot of your posts on your social media or about the artist series. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So on the website there is a handful of artists. There's artwork on there that we support the artists who or we're actually selling their prints on our website. And where this came from was, if you think about it, these artists, they get a lot of love in the golf world. And there's a lot of cool pages that are dedicated to them, and we just thought of a way. We tried to come up with a way that we could talk about them and highlight them and honestly give back to them. And so we kind of narrowed down to a handful of artists that we love and we follow, and we wanted to support. And so while you're on uncommon.golf, please go and check out their prints on there. The proceeds do go directly back to those guys. And help them fund what they're doing. And there's some really, really cool stuff on there. I'm really proud of that because it's something, again, totally different in the golf world. Nobody else that I know of is really supporting and talking about these guys as much as we are. And we want to give back to those guys as much as we can because they add a ton of flavor and flair to not only the golf world, but also to Uncommon. They back us. So
yeah, it reminds me of a friend of mine who's come on the pod here in the past. One of the guys I golf with like almost every other round. He owns a fine dining restaurant, gives up his walls to local artists. They can come in, hang their artwork, and while we're in there dining, we can have a look at it, purchase it. Goes directly to those artists, and then it also gives him makes his restaurant look good in the process too, right? So it's kind of cool. It's nice how you can kind of, right? Yeah, it's nice how we can all kind of share those things, and that's kind of the idea of this podcast. And it sounds like what you guys are doing is to just connect as many people as we can in the community, build the game, make it as strong as we can. But before I let you go, Joe, can we grab your your Instagram handles and your social medias, your website? People that are listening this far really appreciate it. If you don't catch them here, you can go down again. I'll link them all below. But if you don't mind sharing them with us.
Yeah, we're just Uncommon Golf on Instagram, and then uncommon.golf on the website. We are only selling product right now on our website, so that is really the only place that it lives where you can buy it. We're strictly a D2C company, so check us out. We'd love to share and talk about the brand with us, and hit us up on messages. We try and chat with everybody, and love to hear everybody's coming from and their stories. And we've met some of the best relationships have been created from just hitting up people randomly on Instagram, like you, just saying what's up, so
absolutely.
It's been fun. Yeah,
I probably I don't really remember. I probably just saw a post, liked it or whatever, and then often I'll kind of reach out, message people, or lately we've actually been getting a lot of really good feedback on the podcast. So we got a really nice message from a gentleman named Matt the Lefty. Kind of like to give a shout out. So thanks, Matt. Didn't know the guy before. He sent out a message and said that he really likes the pod. He's been listening to them. So
awesome. Cool.
It's just really cool to kind of connect with people, and that's how you and I got connected, Joe. And same type of thing. Just have a conversation, and at the very least we can talk about golf, right? Especially in these colder climates.
I love it. I love golf.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and your family, and thanks for the support. We love it. So.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose a ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an hour.